Hello YouTube, this is TBT, and in this video I want to share with you my experience with using the Seagate Innov8. The Innov8 is an 8TB external drive that was created by Seagate. On the outside is a unique design powered by a single USB-C port, while on the inside is an 8TB archive hard drive with a 3.8 volt 3162 mAh battery. To use the Innov8, you'll need a computer with a USB-C port, which outputs at least 1.5 amps. In addition to this, the Innov8's internal battery also helps with initial disk startup. Seagate calls this ignition boost, which to me is a very interesting tech, as this method does away with the need for an additional power adapter in such a way that it only needs one source of power from the host's USB port. If you do attempt to connect the Innov8 to a machine that doesn't provide 1.5 amps, the Innov8 will display a red light indicating that the machine isn't providing enough power to the drive. This drive could be ideal for someone who wants a large capacity drive housed inside an attractive industrial design, while at the same time not wanting to deal with cable clutter. Using the drive is as easy as a plug-and-play device, and unless you intend to use the drive in a file format other than exFAT, the Innov8 is ready to go, fresh out of the box. In terms of noise, the sounds emitted from the drive can vary from quiet to barely noticeable. There are times when accessing the drive may take a few seconds, but that's just because you tried to access the drive while it was idle. Now, in terms of read and write performance, although my tests weren't thorough in terms of detailed testing, I've noticed that the read and write speeds of the drive varies between 140 megabytes per second and 180 megabytes per second. Within the first few months of ownership, I was only able to use this drive with my MacBook, which was the only computer in my home with a USB-C port. So after a few months of searching, I was able to get the Innov8 to work with my iMac. I was able to do this with a USB hub called usability. Using this hub with the Innov8 allowed me to be able to use this drive as a network drive. Since then, I've been using the Innov8 to store various types of data, so things like photos, videos, Plex data from my Plex media server, as well as to store my YouTube projects. And the reason I'm describing the use of the hub as a form of jerry-rigging is because, in addition to using the hub and my MacBook's power adapter to power the Innov8 through the hub, Seagate doesn't acknowledge this method as a way to connect the Innov8. As far as they're concerned, connecting directly to a machine with a USB-C port is the only way to use this drive. Admittedly, around the time it was released, the Innov8 was a bit of an impulse buy for me. I'm saying this because I felt that back then, the drive was a very niche product, in the sense that it could only be used on certain machines, like laptops that were around at the time with USB-C ports, and not usable on other machines with traditional USB-A ports, as those machines couldn't deliver the 1.5 amps of power the Innov8 required for disk startup. In terms of reliability, I haven't had any issues with data loss or corruption, and although there were times when the drive did experience a sudden loss of power, after powering the drive back up and running a quick diagnostic check, the drive data is still intact. And while some may have their doubts about the Innov8's archive hard drive, it serves my purposes in the sense that the contents on this drive will be around for the long term, like storing my favorite movies, TV shows, family pictures, etc. As for heat, the drive feels warm to the touch, and although it isn't mentioned in the official support documents, I feel that the industrial design of the Innov8 is used as a passive cooling method for the drive. Overall, in spite of the initial restriction to one device, and in spite of the jerry-rigging that took place, the Innov8's large capacity and overall sleek and innovative design was well worth the purchase and long-term ownership. If you're digging the drive, I definitely recommend it, but only if you have a setup that can output 1.5 amps, or if you can jerry-rig the Innov8 safely, as I have. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and I do hope that you are able to take something away from this. And if you haven't, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. This is TBT, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.